now I have introduced another graphic to you, and I'm going to have to make all these graphics available to you to use at the same time. However, so here we are. Let's start with black. So let's go digitize, digitize close shape, and say, well, we want black this time. We have to reorder some of these stitch outs as we go. So anyway, what do we want initially? Well, let's have a look. Let's have a little look. Bring it up nice and big, and we're going to say, well, eyebrow shape. We're getting used to digitizing in blocks, aren't we? So let's do this. So we are now, can you see, which way do we want the hairs to move slightly backwards? Yeah, to give that little twist, as we go. Well, it's going to have to get a bit, it might have to come down to the same point and then finish there, yeah? But can you see my digitized turning blocks now in satin, and the angles, there's one I could change, but we'll hit enter and say, well, there you go. That eyebrow is actually facing and going the right way. But as I always do, let's duplicate that then. So let's come down to our end, pick that up, and it duplicate, and then mirror X, so we've got to go the other way, and then, whack it over to the other side. So there's our two eyebrows. The symmetry, brilliant. Now the next thing we want to do in black probably are the eyes. So again, am I going to work in blocks? I'm going to do it in two stages. I am going to digitize a circle in satin, fill, yeah, black, and I'm going to start in the middle, bring it out. Oh, it's a bit too big. Yeah, hit enter, but then that gives me the opportunity to, it's not quite how I want it. Hit it again, hit enter, and then take that, escape out of that because I don't want that anymore. Escape, if you don't mind, go back to select this one, and I'm going to twist it around. It's kind of the right shape, but it's not quite. Yay, now it's the right way up. Now I can move it over, and now I can bring it down in place. See? That's my oval. Now I can duplicate that. I don't need to mirror it, to be honest with you, because they're the same, aren't they? So now I got two. Save that, yeah? I hope you're following along with me. I might I don't want it on, I want it on black handles, and I may want to just move that over a shade. Now the next thing I want to do is a closed shape. I'd rather work it out myself. So digitize the closed shape on satin in the fill, okay, and bring it up nice and big, and I think, yay, I'm going to be better off doing it myself. So I am going to digitize in the normal fashion, left and right clicks, up and out, and down and around the curve, back again, and hit close, yeah? And I'm going to do the same with this one. I think I might bring it out just a titchy bit further, and yep, I'm going to do that. And then this one, I'm going to use my own little bit of device and say, I want it to act, yeah, so it's hanging a bit differently, and I'm not worried about that, and I'm quite happy with that, yay. And then I can pick up those three that I've just done, 1, shift, 3, and group, yay, and then as you do, X mirror, brilliant. Oh, undo. Undo. right? My bad. Duplicate, yay, then X mirror, take the duplications and say what those are the ones that fit over here. Yeah? That's good enough for me. So I've done those bits. Now, while we're still working in black, what do I need to do now? Oh, I need to do a mouth. But I want a certain amount of a mouth, so I put a red on. Right, so while we're still working on the little girl's eyes, we need to take that one, they're both the same, aren't we, and duplicate it again, and then come down and say, well, outline, change it to outline, we're still in black, we're on a single run, I think we're on a single run, and can you see already that that has outlined that eye? So now we're going to duplicate that, move it across, so, whoop, undo, what happened there? I'll come down and see what's the message like, yeah, so we duplicated that, made it an outline, which is in a single run, so now you can see that, yay, so that's great. Let's come down then to our duplication here and duplicate that again. So now we got two, so I can move the one over to sit very nicely on the other. So now we've given it a bit of a definition around that line, okay? Now, while we're still working in black, let's look at the mouth. So now we are gonna do normal digitize, close shape, okay, in black, and it's a fill in satin. Yeah, we're still working in satin, that's brilliant. But what I want to do, I want it to have her lips down here. I don't want them to start that big. I'm going to start about here, yeah, and I am just going to outline in curves her smile. I get to there, then I want to use a gentle curve around. Ooh, I'm going to go back on that because I did actually come down a teeny bit, so then I want to use a gentle curve around to finishing it off, but I do want to highlight that and go to reshape and then take my angular dangle and say what I want it more or less straight up. That's how I want it. Okay, then go back to select and then look at my shape. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, now, so now we've done all the black. Now we want to switch over to red. Oh, stop doing it. Hang on, save my artwork. Come down, digitize, close shape, and in red. Now we're going to the red. Okay, I want it to be a bit, I mean I can literally go across some of the work that I've already done and make a close shape and hit enter, and again I want to pick that up and say no, reshape. I do want you top to bottom your angles, if you don't mind. I want you to be, you know, yeah, there we go. Right, back on select so you can see off of everything, so you can see that I've now done a little face. I think that one, actually, I might select again and go to reshape, because I'm going to take that point and bring it up a teeny bit. Ooh, that's better. go back to select, go back to my, oh yeah, that's more balanced, isn't it? So let's come out. Yeah, she got a nice little face now. Yeah. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, well, I could do a cheeks or a nose. I think I'll go with a nose. Now I want a little bit of a, she's cold, so she's going to have a little lavender nose, isn't she? So again, I'm going to go to digitize close shape, pick up that lavender, and say digitize close shape, fill, yeah, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Bring her up nice and big. No, see, if you bring her up big, you realise you haven't started on the edge. So I am just going to go around and just plonk this in as my oval. And when I get to there, hit enter. I don't want to go in that way around. So I'm going to pick that up and say, now reshape your angle of dangle. I do want it to still go at 90 degrees. Yeah, I want it that way up. Okay, go back to select, pick, well, it was selected, so pick the whole thing up and then hit duplicate. But this time I want it to be an outline in a single run. It's still in purple, and say, yay, that's what I want. So now I got a single line around her little nose bobs. Okay. Now the last thing we need to do are her cheeks. So let's work on that. I'm going to use a lighter pink, I think, this time. More of a candy. Yeah, I think, well, okay. So digitize open shape, candy colour. Yeah. I want this in a fill. Oh, hello. No, this says close shape, candy colour, and I want this to be a fill, and I want this to be Tatoni, but I am going to weaken this Tatoni as we go. So let's start off and say, well, there's the shape that we want. Where should we start? As normal, just make a little round shape-ish as we can. We want that to be, well, you know, a blushing cheeks. As I start there, hit enter. Oh, there we go, Tatami. Well, I don't want that. So with my Tatami, number 1, I'm going to pick it up. And again, I'm going to reshape and make the value of the stitch at roughly 90%. That'll do me. But then I am going to go into effects, stitching, and say I don't want any underlay. And go back to fill and say spacing is at 0.16 of an inch. Right, so I haven't got rid of the underlay. We want to make this stitching much wider. So if it's at 0.16 of an inch, I'm going to change that to 0.32 of an inch. Let's see what happens. It's not good enough for me yet. So I'm going to double that, and I'm going to say I'm going to make that 0.64 of an inch. Oh, wow, that's that's something, isn't it? But no, that's not quite how I want it. So if I then go back and pick it up, I quite like the outside stitches. So if I go back and pick that up, and then I go to stitching and I put down underlay 1 under it, I get one going one way, right? And if I put underlay 2 under it, I get it going the other way. Now I'm coming out and I'm saying that's a much better review. I'm still going to go back to fill and say 64 was too much. So I went from 34 to 64. So let's go somewhere in the middle and say 50. Oh, that's better, isn't it? That's how I want it to look open weave, but still enough colour. Okay, so I'm much happier with that. So then I'll pick that up. I do, but I still think, yeah, I'm going to duplicate that because I do still think I want a soft edge. I want a hard edge around it. So I'm going to duplicate that, whip that into an outline, same colour, candy, yeah, single run. Oh, you can see it's been done. Ooh, and then I want to go to reshape, because having done my candy and candy outstitching, I can see that that wasn't really, it wasn't quite. In fact, I need to get rid of that one. Delete, yeah, that makes it more of a circle. Now, back to select, and yay. So now I've got an outline on that. So now I'll come down, I'll pick up both of those, yay, and group. So they're now move as one thing. Then I will duplicate, yay, so I've got another two now, right on top of that, and move it over here and say, there you go, babes, have another one. So now let's come out. Yay! Do I want it up and down, or do I want it side to side? Oh, you make your own flipping mind up. So the last thing we need to do now are the highlights of her eyes, yeah? And I think we're doing both going the same way. So digitize close shape, and obviously it's going to be a fill. I want it satin. Okay, so I'm gonna. Where have you gone? Bring her up nice and big to me. Oh, look at me, I'm working at an 800%, so let's bring that down a bit. And look at her eyeballs. Okay, how far up do I want to go? I'm not so sure. Every time you digitize something more than once, it's always different the second time. However, let me have a little go. Digitize close shape in white, if you don't mind. And I am working in satin as a fill. Okay, so here we go. All I want is inside what I consider to be the outside stitching. I want a bit of a, just a little bit of an arc. Hit enter to fill it up. Yeah, that'll do me. I'm not so sure. Not so sure if I want it that fat. What I do want to do, I'd always come back and look at things and change them for the way I want, is duplicate that. So I've got two now, one on top of the other, and bring it over, and just inside that outside stitching, plonk it over there. Now, the other thing I want to do now is a little highlight in one corner. My last move, this one, I want to reshape it. Reshape. Quite liked it. Too high up. I go, I want to make it, how do I want to do it? I want to make it a little fatter. Undo. Right. Stop. So now what we need to do is using white on digitize close shape, a fill, and on satin. What we want to do is a little bit of a crescent within that stitch line, just a little bit of a a little bit of a, I might not too happy with that, so I might select a reshape and say, oh no, you're a bit too fat, you. Bring that one in a little bit and change the stitch line to being a bit more an angle for dangle. Not too much. Yay, that's a bit better. Okay, back to select. Yeah, pick it up, duplicate it, and move it over in the same vogue and put it. No. Tap on my screen, and up on my screen, so I'm not hiding the outside of the line. yeah, so I got a bit more of a highlight going on there. And the next thing we want to do is a little circle oval, still in white, still in satin, and I want it to be, you know, quite high up on her eye, and say, yeah, bang, bang. Oh, enter, yeah. Oh, that's nice. Quite like that. Not worried about which way the stitch is going, to be honest, because it's going to be a blob. We're looking at is 700%. So let's, you know, at the end of the day, oh, escape, because I'm still in that mode. Select, pick it up, duplicate, yay, and belong in approximately the same place over there. No, I haven't brought it back to more original size. She's a bit cockeyed. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm thinking about this for a minute. Right, so I haven't brought her out to original size. I am now gonna hit B on the keyboard, put a line around her eyeballs, if it'll let me, and bring it in nice and big, as usual. Oh, where have you gone? Alright, so B on the keyboard, whack it in so I can get to it. Let's start with one, and I'll duplicate it to the other. I want this to be reshaped in as much as I do want that to change to an angle point. That's better, but then I want to bring this angle point out, and I want to then select. Oh, it's a bit fat, isn't it? I'll just go back, reshape. It's still a bit fat for me, so I am just going to plop it in a bit. Yeah, that's good. Right, then go to select, and then I'm going to go to 15% move here, and move it in. Yeah, that's better for me. Okay, so that one, delete. This one, duplicate, and move it over to the same spot over there within the stitch premise. Yeah, and this hole, go select, yeah, and then slightly, holding shift, slightly make this highlight bigger, slightly, right? Delete that so that I can take this, duplicate, and then plop that over in the same way over there. Right, now whip out, yeah, now I'm happier with her now. I am much happier with that little face. So I'm going to hit save. We're nearly there. Because I'm a fuss bug, there's certain things that I want to do. Because I put this down quite quickly in my mind, because when I digitize, it does take me hours, because I want my work to be the best as it can be. Now, you may not, you may work to a different work ethic, or more like, oh, you just want to bang out as quickly as you can. But obviously, a lot of things that I do, I sell, so they have to be spot on and perfect in how I want it. And although I've done this once and I'm now doing it again, this one is not going to be the same as the first one that I did. But but at the same time, I'm also teaching you, and whether you take notice of what I do or you skip on to the next stage and not bother, that is entirely your purview, and how you want to do it. So a couple of things I want to do now, because I'll always go back over my work before I'm ready to finish, which we nearly are ready to finish, and I will just go back up and say, okay, that I picked up the green dress, yeah, and I'm going to duplicate that, which is going to stick it at the bottom, and it, yeah, but I'll bring her back up. I will just, where is it? Come back up, you little so-and-so, right? And stick it under the green dress. While it's highlighted, say outline in a single run. Yeah? Now I got it outlined, and I am gonna bring it in real big, and you see how this outline stitch is right on the edge of my embroidery. However, experience tells me you ain't gonna stay on the outside because that embossed embroidery will drag everything in and there will be a line around that. So I am going to pick it up, I'm hitting shift, and I am going to very, very slightly, a little bit more, very, very slightly, bring that in from the edge. And you might think, well, that's daft, isn't it? But trust me, that embroidery will make that shape shrink. So that's why I do it. So now I'm saving that as well. I also want to pick up the yellow, yeah, and I'll duplicate that, which I'll put it at the bottom, and I'll pick that up and move it back up into the yellow, yeah, little things that I do. And I will say, no, turn that into an outline. So that's an outline stitch. Well, that looks perfect, doesn't it? Oh, no, 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 no. Because I'll pick that up, hold and shift, and I will just minimise that again. Because I know that what will happen is the underlying satin will shrink. So that's going to be a better fit. These little things I'm passing on to you from years and years of experience. I do feel that we're ready to move on now. I would say to you, what I did do was I made her as big as I could. And sometimes when I'm digitizing, I make them like up to 1,000% if I want to look, yeah? And before you decide that you're ready, make it really big like this. This is nearly 90%, because you want to make sure things like your underline stitching, which is this one, yeah, is covered all the way around the hat. You don't want to find there's all of a sudden when you come to the machine and you want to stitch it out, you don't want to find that there's a gap. You don't want to know that, oh, there's a gap. It's because you got to remember at the end of the day, under here is ginger colour felt. So, like, say for example, I've made it this big now, and I can just see right there, yeah? I can just see, and I'm going to click that again. Well, yeah. I want black handles. I don't know why I keep getting the wrong thing, but I go, alright, so, okay, I'll come down and click here. Oh. Where was it? It's above that one. Should be that one. Reshape. Oh, hang on. My machine's having a Benny. I want to say that one. And it's not showing me. If I come back out. Oh, now it's showing me. Thank you very much. So I got it selected and I'm bringing it up right big again because I noticed, can you see here, because I've got a white background, can you see there is going to be a slight gap between my underlay and, well, not my underlay, my tatami stitching of the ruffle and my outside stitching of my hat. So you need to bring things up as I'm asking you to now. And so, well, it's just like, it's 1,000% now, but I can see it, and I don't want to be disappointed that when I go and sew this out, all this gingery bit is showing through. I haven't got it selected, go to reshape, yay. Oh, that is not the one I wanted, so let's go and say, well, it wasn't that one. Where are you, you little bum? It wasn't that one, it's the one beneath it. That's the outside stitching, so it's gotta be that one. Yay. Reshape. Yeah, oh yeah, there it is. Now I can bring it in nice and big because looky loo, yeah, I can see that I bring the underlying stitch which is a Janome, and hide it better, and you can come down. Yeah, see how it's filling stitches in behind me? That's the beauty of Hatch, or the beauty of Digitizer and making your own file. So I'm working that along and up and down, and I'm looking at it, yeah? That there is no gap. Tiny bit there, so I can bring it down an equal bit further. Come down. Sticking the stitches behind me. Because the last thing I want is to find that when I sit, I'm going even bigger now, but the last thing, I'm going to move that one forward and this one forward, because the last thing I want to see is that there is that there is ginger felt not stitched in. So when you're making your own designs, and especially, I mean, I would definitely say that this is an intermediary course, yeah. So this is not your start off digitizing. This is intermediary. Yeah, that there is no, that's the underlying Janome, yeah. That I've not left any gaps. So again, I'm going to save like that, and now we can move on to the right thing. So unselect that, so bring it back to naught, bring it back to what we want to work with. Yet again, run out of time, we're nearly there, so let's look forward to part 4.